Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Why does it say live streamer at the top? Hold on. I need to hide that. I don't want that on. Hide. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. That's something new. I'm sorry. I don't know how to take that off. That's huge too. I use a streaming device to go live on my multiple pages, and I'm so sorry. It's never been on here before, so we're just going to have to work around it. I'll move the camera so we can't really deal with it. Sorry about that. New updates, right? I'll have to play with that off camera. Okay, hey, welcome to Miss Lillians page. I'm a content creator for them. My name is Debbie Tona, and we paint every other Wednesday live and make things beautiful. So when you hop on, say hi. So I'm streaming live from my personal page, which is Tona Transformations, Miss Lillians, and my YouTube. So if you guys have questions, just pop them in there, and I will answer everybody's questions. I have this super cute. It's a little I don't know. I think it was called like a telephone table back in the day when people actually had phones that they sat on top, because you would put the phone book right here, right? Who remembers having a phone book? Who used a phone book up until a few years ago, right? My dad is still like, I can't find it in the phone book. I'm like, Dad, let me just look it up. Yeah. Isn't that funny of the things that we don't have anymore that we used to use and have all the time in our lives? So when you hop on, let me know where you're from. Say hi, so I'm not talking to myself, because I hate to talk to myself. So I picked up, let me show you what we're working with. What kind of started this whole process. Cute decoupage paper that I actually had on hand. So these little birdies, and it's kind of got a pink and gray theme going. I want to put that on the top. So that's where I'm going with the color schemage I got over here. So let me move this out of the way so we don't get paint on it. And then we'll grab it and do it after we paint the base of the piece, okay? So I went ahead and taped off these little feet because this piece has those cute little claw feet. So I just ran some painter's tape over the top. That way I wouldn't get too much paint on them. Something is driving me nuts. That's the StreamYard. I'm so sorry. I've never done that. They just got an update on there. And if that's the way it's going to be, I'm going to have an issue. So the other thing is I was trying to figure out how to paint inside of here. So I think I've come up with a solution. Let's see if it works. So for now, we're going to concentrate and kind of go up the piece. So my thought process was some gray, which I have shadow on in my stash. We're going to throw some of that. I usually throw these lids away because I don't like them on here. I think I haven't even opened this one yet. Okay, a little bit of shadow, which is a gorgeous gray. Did you see what I just did? I just swiped that off of there and then just got paint all over the inside of my arm. I'm going to throw on kind of like a base coat. So I've already prepped this piece with cleaner, the first step cleaner from Miss Lillians, and then went ahead and just did a really quick like scuff sand. I always like to scuff sand all my pieces. You don't have to necessarily do it, but I never know what products were put on here prior. Meaning, this is a really old table. What furniture polish, pledge, old English, what somebody put on there. So I always err in the fact that if I actually just wash it and scuff sand it, I will never have my paint finish fail. And I do this for a living, and I do that with every single piece that I paint. So we're just going to put a quick coat down. This should dry relatively fast because it's hot as Hades. I turned off my air. I have a little wall unit air conditioner in my workroom and all my fans, and it's hot already back here. My central air does not come back into my workroom, right? Of course. So I'm the one that suffers all day. But what I'm trying to say is that this should dry relatively fast. I'm just going to keep spinning it around. and getting our base layer on. Now, remember, when you're laying down base coats of paint, you're not trying to get it to cover in the first coat, you guys. You always are just going to get just this, like a coat on there, just to get your paint to stick, because then your actual second coat will cover really well. So if your first coat is a little streaky, can you see that it's a little streaky? That's totally normal. Any type of a chalk-based paint, which Miss Lillians is a no-wax chalk-based paint, meaning it's basically an all-in-one kind of paint where you don't have to apply a top coat or a wax, which is fabulous because it can be kind of a pain to do that with every piece. It has a beautiful semi-satin, between satin and flat kind of finish on it. And you don't want to try, oh, okay. I was wondering why that was wobbly. This what the leg just fell off. See if I can get it to go back on. Story of my life today. I've had one of those days. Okay. I just got back from having a mammogram. And I was just telling the gal that works for me, I said, that's the first time it's ever hurt. Like, really? It's just a day. I had a customer earlier say something to me. Is it a full moon? Because I'm having a full moon kind of thing. Help a sister out here, right? Hi, Kylie. In one of those days. Right? One of those days. Actually, it's been one of those weeks. Car broke down. I was in another state. Had to tow it home, paid all this money, blah, blah, blah. It's just been one of those damn weeks. And not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. So bear with me. Trying to just make it positive, right? What are you going to do? You can't cry. You can't do anything about it. You just got to go on. I have this on one of my hydraulic lifts. Have you guys ever used one of these to paint with? It's actually it's called a motorcycle lift. I got it at Harbor Freight. I'm sure you guys, I don't know where you're at in the country, but Harbor Freight or one of those. And you just pump it up or down, and you can move your stuff up and down. It's brilliant when you have those pieces, right? Super cool, super easy. The paint on the middle is already drying. So we're just going to go around the edges. The hardest part is going to be in the middle here, but we're going to try something. I have a brush that I think I can get to fit in here and go all the way across. Let's see if it works. These little spaces are the hardest to paint in, right? Always the hardest. I'm going to take this brush this way and kind of just should pretty much level itself. And like I say, you don't need a lot of paint for your first coat. Just trying to get something to stick, because I think I'm going to blend up on the legs. Do you guys think? Hey, Cindy, do you think that would be a good idea? Hi, Allie. How are you guys doing today? Starting to warm up here again. We had like 100-degree plus for like 2 weeks, which is or 3 weeks out of the ordinary for us. I'm in Idaho. And we just got a reprieve. Like yesterday was in the 80s. It was gorgeous. Now it's coming back. We've also got lots of fires in our area. And so the air quality has not been the best. So I have this brush that I never ever use. Guess what? The handle screws off of it. So I grabbed it out of my stash. Right? Kylie, yeah, Kylie says it's so she has one of those. You have it in your garage. Bring it in, girl. The lift, but it's 101 degrees in her garage, so she doesn't want to use it. I had mine outside in my shed out here, and I just drug it in the other day. Got myself quite a few nice bruises. I think, is it CN? Oh, Celine. So I'm going to try this brush. What my thought process is this. Put it through, put my whole arm in, get paint all over it, and drag it across. Is that going to work? It's going to work. So these kind of Tables are the hardest to paint because how do you, this doesn't come off, right? This thing doesn't come off. I'm just going to try to do like thin coat and then put a second thin coat on and hope that works. So if you can get any kind of thing that you can actually take the handle off or hold sideways, kind of hard. I think it might work. What else are you going to do? I wasn't going to leave it like natural wood. I'm going to turn it around. Luckily, this table's pretty easy to manipulate. So the first coat's going to be always, and I'm just going to end up painting the spray in the middle. I'm not going to try to blend in there or do anything fancy. It's just going to stay. This brush is kind of working, kind of not. This brush would work. It's just super hard to get to. Anybody else have some tips or tricks that you've done it easier? Maybe a smaller brush that you cut off? I don't know. I hate doing these kind of things. And you know what? I'm doing it live just so you can see that we struggle as people that do this for all the time, just as much as anybody else. So it kind of got it in there, but it's super like streaky, right? Which is fine. I can try to smooth it out a touch. I'm not really sure. Let it dry and then put the second coat on. There we go. There we go. That's better. Put the second coat on, and when the second coat's on, it'll cover it up. That will be my solution. We might do that off camera because look at my hands already covered in paint. The bottom down here is pretty much already dry. So I'm going to grab another container and see what we can get going. It might be a little bit louder. I'll just talk a little bit louder. I'm going to move this paint in here. And I grabbed some fun colors. I grabbed Onyx, which is the black. And I just have a little bit left. I needed to order another one of these. I grabbed Candied Cranberry. You guys see that? It's kind of a rosy cranberry color. And then I grabbed this pink, which is a rosebud. Light shiny. Can you see that better? That color. My light was shining on it. And that color, right? Beautiful. So let's see if we can blend up a little bit. Because I like to blend. Kind of my jam. So I'm going to add a little bit of black. Just a little. I don't think I'm going to need a lot. Let's add some candied cranberry. I love this color. I used this on a piece that's sitting right behind you, or right behind me, behind you too, and turned out stunning. Candied cranberry. Look at that. All the way. The lid's back on your paint because you know if you don't, it's going to happen. Exactly what happened to me earlier. You're going to paint everywhere. And maybe a touch of rosebud. I'm not sure if we're going to use this one yet. Let's see. Okay. Not a lot. This doesn't need a lot because these are the legs, right? And we're going to try to blend up a little bit on the legs just to see what we can get. Let's play with it. And if for some reason it doesn't turn out, we can always just go back and paint the whole dang thing with like the solid gray. Because that will look good with that decoupage paper that I used. But I thought I would just try to play. I'm using the same brush. I have the gray. Put you down. And let's go from the bottom. So there's actually 3 sides to these, or 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, and underneath. When I am done with this, I'll flip the table upside down and paint the underneath sides of these legs because you'll be able to see them from across. So just gonna try to kind of move up. I'm going to just add, see when I see a touch, see how much paint? Barely anything. Go in with the cranberry, the candy cranberry, and kind of pull it down. Just the hopes to give it kind of a little bit of a fun blend. And like I said, if we don't like it, I'm going to add some of the gray to my bucket. We can stop and not even do it at all and just paint the thing one color. But I love the blend and it's kind of my thing. So I'm going to get a smaller brush. That might help me because those are not very big areas. Hold on, let me find the smaller girl over here. Both of my small brushes in my sink. All right. So I'm getting a smaller brush. It might be easier for me to. And let's get you closer. So that way you can really see what I'm talking about. If you can even see the blend. It's kind of hard because the colors are pretty dark and muted to begin with. I'm going to start over with the gray. And I'm going to paint the whole thing gray, okay? Which covers really well on the second coat, okay? I'm going to go in with a little bit of the black, and I mean a little bit, right? And I'm just going to brush it up. Kind of like an ombre thing. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the cranberry, and I'm going to brush it down. Very ever so slightly. That's actually kind of pretty. Can you see it? Is it better without the light? With the light, it's super bright, yeah? It's very faint. I'm trying to see it on the camera. Can you see it? This is kind of fun, actually. And then maybe on the sides, not even worry about it. Just keep them the gray. So let's turn it. Put a little bit of this gray on this side. And then on the other hand, it may be too much work to do each and every individual leg. And we may not even attempt to keep doing that on every leg. And we may just keep it all gray. But I thought it'd be kind of fun. So this would be fun in like a parlor or like your, how cute would this be as like a little table in your bathroom or in your, a little girl's room or a big girl's room for that matter, because the birds are super, super cute. So the gray is shadow. It covers amazingly. You notice the coverage now on the second coat, how much more it covers, right? Give me some thumbs up or some hearts or some hellos if you guys agree. It just covers on the second coat like no other. Looks really good and just goes on there. So now let's attempt again. A little bit of black. What did I do? I went from the bottom up. I can't remember. I'm going to tap off my black, and then I'm going to use a little bit of the cranberry, and I'm going to come down. This time I'm using way more than I did last time. And sometimes it just depends how you play with your paint, how you get your blend to be how you want it to be. So it's almost like a little fun ombre going up this piece, the black, into the cranberry into the black. That's kind of pretty. Now do you see it? Kind of right there. We can come back and clean up this gray. We can actually just use our brush right now and make it have a little bit of the pink on it. And when you add it, it kind of almost turns it a purple color. Kind of pretty too. So don't be afraid to play when you're blending with your paints, okay? There's nothing wrong with just trying to play with them, figure out what colors go together, and just knock it out of the park, you know? Don't limit yourself. Hey, Lori, how's it going, my friend? Don't limit yourself to not be adventurous and just give yourself the freedom to try, right? What's the worst that can happen? You gotta repaint it. I mean, seriously. Hi, Jan. You like it more with the more cranberry? So that's, you know, Jan, going to say on every leg, I can paint it a little different, and then we can figure out which one we like, right? So let me repaint this one with gray. And that is Shadow. If you guys like to order any of this paint, I did put my link. If you're on Miss Lillians page down there, I have an affiliate link with them that you can order paint from, and I get a small little commission. If you're local, you can come into my store, or you can order on my website. Okay, so we just painted it over with gray. Let's hit it with a little bit of black from the bottom up. And then I think I'm going to wipe it off. And then I'm going to hit the cranberry down. And the cranberry, when it hits the gray and the black, kind of turns it purple, right? It's kind of fun. And then I'm going to blend them both into each other. And then pull the black up a little bit more, maybe a touch more black. Kind of fun. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? You like it? And then I'm going to just hit these sides with some gray. You know, it doesn't have to be, what's the word I want to use? It doesn't have to be what you would expect. How about a little bit of the unexpected? Hi, Chastity. Your heat index is 111. Too hot to work outside. Girl, I hear you. What state are you in? Texas or something? We're never that hot in the summer. I mean, 90s is our average, like in the summer. So, but we have zero humidity in Idaho. So we're very lucky. Where you guys, if you're back anywhere east of us, you guys have got the humidity, right? We live in an extremely dry climate, which is good for us. A little bit more gray in my pot over here. And I didn't end up using that rosebud color. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's the lighter pink. I think it's just going to get lost with these darker colors. So, and I think it's going to turn it more of a gray. So a little more gray on there. Paint up on this. Oh, you can't see that stem. We're going to decoupage here in a minute anyhow. So you get the idea, like how you can experiment. We're talking, can you even see the black on my brush? Barely, right? Just a little bit of black so that it goes up. A little bit more. It's just going up a little bit. I'm going to wipe it off because I don't want the cranberry to be too dark from the black, and then blend them down into each other. That one's pretty fun. And we can go around the sides and like do that on all these sides too if we want. Just kind of blend down with the paint that's on there. Or we can go with some black and blend the black up and make those kind of darker on those sides. What do you want to do, right? Do whatever you want to do. Don't be afraid to play. If something happens and it's ugly, stop and redo it. Let it dry and redo it. You're in Tennessee. Tennessee is a beautiful state. Went there 2 years ago, rented a truck, a U-Haul, and drove home from Tennessee to Idaho and picked furniture. It was a lot of fun. But we went in July, and I don't know what the heck we were thinking. I had a conference, really, is why I went. And then I said to my husband, hey, I've got an idea. Let's bring a U-Haul or Penske, not a U-Haul, and drive home. Let me tell you, trying to load furniture in the back of one of those trucks with the humidity and the heat that you guys have all the way across the country was just about. And then when we were in like Iowa, we ended up with a tornado warning. I said to my husband, we're in a hotel, right? I go, what are we supposed to do? Okay, I'm from the land of earthquakes. I grew up in California. Never in my life have I experienced a tornado warning. I was like, are we supposed to do something? What happens if the tornado comes? He's like, I don't know. I didn't grow up here. He grew up in California too. Idiots out there not knowing what we're supposed to do. I said, do you think the hotel has a basement? He goes, it's good. I said, do you think we should call downstairs? As the sirens are going, woo, everywhere. I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy. Turquoise, you know, Jan, that's a really good idea. I might have to throw that in there. I love when people come up with ideas because it helps me. You know, it doesn't have to be the exact same colors that are on the decoupage paper. I'm going to go ahead and take some white and put it over the top. Anybody know the reason I'm going to do this? Anybody have any idea? Where's my A+ students out there and not the other content creators that are on here? You guys can't answer. But I'm sure you guys know when you're going to lay down decoupage, if you have a dark surface, I would advise if you want your tissue paper, decoupage medium, if you're using napkins, if you're using tissue, whatever you're using, you want it to show up, you need to have the behind the surface a lighter color, white, cream, whatever. Because if you put the tissue paper directly down on this, you're not going to see it as well because it's going to pick up on the dark brown that was the actual color of the furniture. Did you know that? If you didn't, you do now. It's only going to take a hot second before that dries. So does anybody have any questions about anything we've done so far? Let me grab my heat gun and hit the top real quick. I should have done that first so that it would have been dried by the time we needed to get to it. Hindsight, right? Try to plan these lives and try to get them. Blow a switch, so I'm going to unplug my light real quick because you know what? As soon as I turn on my heat gun to dry it, it will blow the circuit. So plug that. And I like your idea, Jen, of adding some turquoise on the legs, and I may do that. But let's get this decoupage paper on here. And I'm only going to do one coat. I don't have to do 2 coats of white, but I always like to have a lighter background. If I am using tissue paper on a window, on anything, I will always paint it white first so that it shows up. It's a little trick that you learn when you first start doing decoupage, and it will help you immensely. Okay, that's already dry. Fast, right? Isn't that crazy how fast that stuff is? See, grab tissue, grab another brush, clean application. Okay. Well, look at how cute this paper is. Isn't it cute? So earlier I was trying to figure out how to get the most of the birds on here. So I think what I've decided is to come like all the way down so that it just stops right at this little guy's head right here. That's going to be big over here. I'm just going to try to like overlap this a little bit right here. And then just add it right there like that. Now I am not going to cut this beforehand. I'm going to decoupage it on, and then I'm going to, after it dries, sand it off so it has an exactly crisp edge. Now, I won't be able to do that today because I want the decoupage paper to actually dry. So, unfortunately, you're not going to see it finished. But we're going to take this off. Actually, I'm just going to fold it over, and we are going to put some clear coat on half of this. I try not to put the clear coat on the whole thing. I think turquoise would be pretty with this paper, hon. I really do. Because you know what? It doesn't have to be. My lid is glued on here. So here's a really good tip and trick for you. If, I think I have some already in a container. If you put these lids on, they will glue shut like no other. If you take some Vaseline and rub it around your lid before you close it, it will make taking the lid off a lot easier than what I'm doing right now. For some reason, your lid gets stuck like mine is right now. If you hit it flat, upside down on the hard surface like a concrete floor, it will loosen it. But if you take Vaseline and rub it around this lid, it'll come right off every time. Okay, pour a little bit of this into a little container. But yeah, I think turquoise, because it doesn't have to be the exact same colors. There's no reason for it to be exactly the same color as the tissue paper, because I think the pop of color would be beautiful. I will finish this piece and I will post a picture on Miss Lillians' page when I get it done and reference back to this video so you guys can refresh yourselves if you want. So we're gonna try to pull this down because I really don't want much. Okay, I can put this little guy's head. So here's the shape of the table right here, right? I don't lose that bird. I don't lose that bird. I think we're kind of good. So then we're going to fold this over. It's already sticking, like it's stuck, like it's not coming off. This stuff is a really good glue to use for decoupage. Please don't use what everybody uses, Mod Podge. You will hate your life. This stuff works so much better. This is Satin Luster from Miss Lillians. It is a clear coat, and it will help put your decoupage papers on. And we're just going to go down. If it's a little wrinkled, it doesn't matter. This is an old vintage piece. It's not supposed to look brand new. We're going to press it down. It's going to go all the way around the edge. Now, I'm going to try something before I put the additional top coat on. I'm going to see if it's going to work. And if it doesn't, then I'll have to do it later. Let me just try. You take a piece of sandpaper and you go around this edge right here, okay? And you just sand this edge. And what this does, you're going to see in a minute, without ripping your paper, is it's going to give you a perfect cut every time. That's why I did not cut it with scissors and try to make it fit. Because believe me, you will never make it fit if you cut it with scissors, ever. So there, right? I'm going to just go around this back edge right here. You're going to hold your sandpaper down against that edge and sand down, okay? And then you're just going to very delicately take off what you just did. Isn't that brilliant? That is how you get a perfect cut every blasted time. Don't ever cut your paper beforehand. Okay, now look, right? Done. Now we're going to go ahead and take this clear coat that we have sitting here, and we're going to go over the entire top. What this is going to do is seal this paper and get it so that you can put anything on the surface, right? You can put a crackle coat over the top. You can put some glazes on it. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but this is going to seal the paper. You can put a couple coats on if you would like. For now, we're just going to do one coat real quick. This stuff dries super, super, super fast. And it's going to protect this. So now when you use it as a little side table and you put your cup of coffee or whatever on it, it should protect it just fine. Dang, this paper is cute. I have more of this, I believe. If not, I'm ordering more paper. You guys, if you want to go to my website, I probably will have it in stock soon. I think I have a couple more sheets of it, actually. I don't know what it's called. Something birds, but I do have photos of these all on my website. Right? How cute is that? So, I've been on here for half an hour already. But overall, how flippin' cute is this paper with this whole gray, pink thing we got going on? Let me move this one, the satin clear coat, and move it to the side so you can actually see. Be sure to wash your clear coat brushes right away too, because they will harden very fast. It's a chickadee. Yes, Janet is a chickadee. Is the paper by Prima Sharon? No, it is not. Oh, go eat your supper, Chastity. It is not. It is one that I actually order, and I have it here. The Prima papers are the hard, the fabric ones. This is just a real tissue paper. How cute are they? It's a little chickadee. So then, in combination with the cute little feet, let me move the camera. Maybe you can see a little bit better. It's going to tie in. I got some of that white paint in there. So guess what? I'm going to have to paint this again. So who cares? You know, I got a spot of white paint that I put up here. I will go around the side edge up here where the white is coming through, and I will just nicely blend in the gray over the top of the paper. And then this thing is going to be super cute for somebody to put, like I said, I could see it in a parlor or like a little sitting room, or even like I say, like in your bathroom. You know, sometimes you have room in your bathroom, like your guest room, to put little towels and trinkets. Wouldn't that be cute if you didn't have enough counter space? Right? Super fun. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm sweating now. Turn all the fans off. And you know what? If you want any advice or any help, just reach out. Be more than happy to help you. Beth, you like it? It's cute, right? It's super cute. So you guys can find me on Miss Lillians every other Wednesday at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. So 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, yada, yada, yada. And my name is Debbie Tona, and I am with Tona Transformations out of Nampa, Idaho. And like I always say to every time I go on and off, please go out and be fabulous, because there's no other way to be. You guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. And I'll post pictures of this thing real soon. All right. Have a good one. Bye.